love is between two people, we all know that relationships can be hard work. One minute you think you're living in a fairy tale, just everything's so perfect. Even his funk smells good. But the next minute your man has walked out the door and you don't know why. How many of us have had a man leave and we don't know why? Me. Standing on the stage are 7 men. They each left their girlfriend for a different reason. And throughout the hour, they're going to tell us why and how you can avoid those pitfalls. So whether you are dating, whether you are married, or just plain want to be with somebody someday, you need to watch this show because it will save your relationships. It is the 7 ways to keep your lover. Let's find out how to avoid relationship-ending behavior is my love panel. Let me step on down to my love panel.
All right.
First up, he's a relationship expert and an editor with Men's Health. It's Matt Bean. Next is relationship expert and author of We Plan, God's Laughs. This is Rabbi Sherre Hirsch. Love that we have a lady rabbi. And last but not least, he's a dating coach and author of Why You're Still Single, Things Your Friends Would Tell You If You Promise Not to Get Mad. Evan Mark Katz. So, are we ready to get started, everybody? Yeah. Okay, let's meet the first man in our breakup lineup, Carlo.
How you doing?
So, Carlo, why did you break up with your girlfriend?
Well, every time we get into a fight, she decided to withhold sex as a punishment. So, you know, I'm a little sexual. Goodbye.
You said goodbye as she was
I'm not gonna
withholding
cheat
it.
on her, so I'll just dump her.
Yeah. Okay, so Rabbi Hirsch, explain that to us, withholding sex.
First
a lot of women
rule of thumb,
do it.
Tyra, sex is not a weapon. You cannot use it as a bargaining tool or as some sort of sense of control. And I can see why, Carlo, you was just like, I had enough.
Yeah.
And what does that message, do you think, send, Evan? What do you think that message sends?
The thing is, when you're in a relationship,
Yeah.
there's the difference. There's friends and there's more than friends. And if this is the one person in the world that you're allowed to sleep with, and you can't sleep with her,
That's what we want.
you're feeling constantly rejected, and that makes you feel distant physically and emotionally.
She put herself on a pedestal, so I had to leave.
And Matt, you agree?
Guys do not have sexual GPS. They need signs in the relationship that everything is going right. And if you haven't had sex for 2 weeks, say, it means there's more than just a problem with the car. It means the wheels are about to fall off.
Oh, gosh. Okay. So, the first way to keep your lover is do not hold out on sex for longer than 2 weeks. So do not go longer than 2 weeks without having sex. So with us now are Aaron and Jessica, and they've been married for 1.5 years, and already sex has come between them. So, Jessica, what's going on with the sex life?
I've been making a lot of excuses. I tell him I'm tired, or I'll roll over and ignore his advances. Or sometimes I just flat out tell him that I don't really want to. We've gone from having sex several times a week when we were dating to sometimes, there's actually once I think we went about 2 months.
2 months?
Yeah.
Aaron, 2 months, that's a long time. What is this doing to you as a man?
That's a very long time.
Yeah.
It makes me feel bad because I know why she doesn't want to have
And
sex.
what's the real reason?
She's put on some weight, and she feels uncomfortable with that. She thinks that I don't think she's sexy, but I think she's extremely sexy.
All right.
So to help her out, I offered to go to the gym with her to, you know, if she really wanted to be determined and lose the weight, I told her that I would go with her and help her in any way I could.
And how do you feel about the gym, Jessica?
I get discouraged because men and women need different things to lose the weight. Or, well, he wants to build muscle while I want to tone down. And there's just different things to do. And so I feel like we go to the gym together, but we're not together because we're doing different things.
Okay. And sometimes the gym is just not fun. all right?
Exactly.
Well, before the show, we assigned Jessica and Aaron some homework to see if we could help them get their sex life back on track. Now, the goal was for Jessica to change her attitude about herself by trying workout dates with her husband. Hopefully, their workouts together would heat up the relationship. So let's check it out.
The gym is almost like a second home for me. I love coming to the gym.
I really don't like working out because it just reminds me how often I should be here and how often I'm not.
Sadly enough, Jessica does not feel the same way that I do.
So right now you're curling 5-pound weights. How does that feel? I mean, is it too easy?
I don't know what to do. I don't feel like he has a good time with me here.
How many is that?
I want to have a good time, and I don't feel like we are.
Jessica, you did not seem interested at all in being at that gym.
We sort of snapped at each other because I know he gets frustrated because he told me he'll go with me and he's great about it. And I get so frustrated because I'm not seeing results.
It's like you want to lift that 5-pounder, then have it go poof immediately. I know how you feel. You want those immediate results. It feels like it's so far away, right? And then you're locked in these 4 walls, and there's this music playing, and then this little skinny little bitch over there is like.
Exactly.
Just like,
I used to be her.
Yes.
I used to be her, and that's what I keep seeing in my mind is how can he think I'm sexy when I've gained 30, 40 pounds
Yes.
since, actually I've gained 60 pounds since when we first started dating. I was in great shape when we started dating.
Okay, but you guys did do the workout and in that gym. So let's see if it maybe heated things up in the bedroom that night. I don't know. Check it out.
Jessica apparently has a surprise for me.
I got a little secret from Victoria. I may turn off the lights. I don't know. We'll see. So, good night, everybody, and I will see you in the morning. Aaron seemed to really like my surprise.
Jessica and I had a great night last night.
So after a romantic night, Aaron and Jessica decided to enjoy each other in the great outdoors with a little nature hike in the park.
We are now at a park, and we talked about maybe the fact that I don't have to go to a gym to work out. We just got done with our hike, and I loved it, actually. I have more energy, and it makes me think about what I could maybe do with this energy.
Jessica, it's so interesting. When I first saw the whole gym thing, I'm like, she just doesn't like working out. It doesn't matter where she is. She's just not into working out. But then we see you outside, and you're like, woo!
I loved it,
So you found what's good for you. What grade would you give Jessica and Aaron right now in terms of them spicing up their love life?
I think it's a big fat A, at least for effort, and you guys look really happy.
Yeah. So, after the hike, did you do some hiking in the bedroom that night?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
I had some more energy, and I decided that, hey, if this exercising gives me more energy, I'm going to use it in a good way.
Well, good. But I just want to make a very clear statement right now. We're talking about this whole sex in 2 week thing if you're in a very mature relationship that is an already sexual relationship. So 2 things, mature relationship and already sexual. So if you haven't had sex with your boyfriend, do not want to have sex with your boyfriend, that is okay. And you hold fast to those morals and those values. Okay, we'll be right back. Up next, the communication breakdown that may cause him to run.
If I'm like, listen, take the garbage out, I'm not doing it.
She's always being a bitch. It's just,
Coming up, more tips on how to keep your love from ditching you.
I broke up with my woman because she was extra clingy.
Even with myself, like sometimes I find myself like in relationships like, and then the minute I'm like, I'll see you later, I have something to do. And then he's like chasing me and I'm like, okay. 7 ways to keep your lover, and helping us count them down are 7 men who have left their lovers. So let's find out the second reason our breakup line gives up for splitting up. This is Mike. Mike, why did you break up with your girlfriend?
Well, a lot of times it doesn't even make its way to a full-blown relationship. If a girl comes off on me like too hard right away, I feel like disrespected and I just cut off.
So if she has a little bit of a
like I'm dating this girl and we go to a dinner party and after the dinner everybody cleans up, she's gonna sit there and be like, I'm a guest, I'm not cleaning up. It's finished, it's over.
Wait, so she said that?
She said
I'm a guest?
And I just stopped calling her after that.
Oh gosh, if she was my friend, I wouldn't call her back either.
Nah.
Okay, I think that goes for everything. Now we're gonna go to our love panel, Matt Bean, Rabbi Sherre Hirsch, and Evan Marquardt. So Evan, what really makes a man listen to a woman? Because we're not getting listened to. Sometimes we wanna go, you know, because sometimes that is how we get listened to.
Well, I can tell you how not to do it.
Okay.
And it's not by being difficult and arguing and making issues over things that don't have to be issues. Being easygoing is the surest way to keep a guy happy. Being a bitch is the surest way to get him to leave.
Okay, but easygoing, that sounds like a like they can just walk all over you. So what's the difference between like being a wet little rag that they can just fling anything way they want?
Tyra, you can respectfully disagree. I mean, it's just you don't need to say everything on your mind. You gotta have that edit function and edit. But you can disagree here and there for sure because you gotta own your feelings.
You gotta own your feelings and your strength as a woman. Okay, so the second way to keep your lover is don't be a bitch. All right. So with me now are Philip and Sandra. Hi, Philip and Sandra.
Tyra.
So, Philip, I understand you have some issues with Sandra and how she communicates to you.
It's just that it's not really talking, it's just she's always being a bitch. It's just,
What does that mean? Because that word can mean so many different things. She's not talking, she's being a bitch. So what does a bitch mean to you?
Instead of talking about things and trying to handle things civilly, it's more or less just always arguing and screaming, and one thing leads to another, which leads to a big argument, and we never get anything accomplished. It's always just arguing back and forth.
So do you think that that's what you do, Sandra?
No. Honestly, I just feel like, you know, we start talking and he doesn't listen to me, and then it'll start something small and then it'll escalate, we'll start arguing, and it gets to the point where like we have no idea what we're even arguing about anymore, you know? But I don't know, I feel like I'm civil about it.
Oh, okay. I see a little angel. I see a little wolf in sheep's clothing right now. She's like, I'm not a bitch. And I think I'm a bitch. Underneath all of that. Okay, Phil, do you think you would respond differently if she came at you in a different way?
Without a doubt. If she came at me and spoke, if she wanted me to do something, let's just say, for example, she wanted me to throw the garbage out. If she came at me in a different tone as opposed to screaming and nipping at me, I would have no problem even going further and doing the dishes without her even asking me.
Okay, well, Matt, can you give us...
that's not true. So
well, Matt, can you give us some tips of how Sandra can like talk to him differently to get better results?
I mean, I think Philip might agree with me that there's got to be a way that you can translate what you want to get out of the relationship into guy talk. Because guys don't talk about things the same way girls do. So, say, for example, you wanted to ask him to vacuum the house or do the dishes. How would you ask him to do that?
I feel like if I just say, like, baby, could you do this? Like, he's not going to do it. But if I'm like, listen, take the garbage out. I'm not doing it.
Here's the problem with that.
Because otherwise, it's just like, it'll sit in the kitchen, you know? So.
The more a guy feels like the clay and the less he feels like the sculptor, the harder he's going to get. So you got to put that in a way that's going to make him really want to do that. And girls, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't a clean house one of the sexiest things that you can come home to?
Let me tell you, clean house, hands down.
So how would she say it? So how would she say it? Come on, Matt. Let's role
Well, for
play. example,
something like this. I mean,
You're the woman and I'm the man. Okay.
I know how hard you work. The show is just hard. You're all day long. But I got to tell you, cleaning the house is a real pain. And the sexiest thing you could do for me right now is cleaning up those dishes. Can you do that for me, honey?
The sexiest thing?
That's right.
All right. You think you could do that?
I'll do that next time. I'll try it.
Think you can do that? Because one of my biggest fears, actually, in relationships is turning into the guy's mother. Yeah. And I feel like I have that thing in me, and like you turn into the mom, then we have the problem of the first rule: you won't have sex for longer than 2 weeks because it turned into a trauma, and then it's just a big mess. So, all right, we'll be right back. Up next, how close is too close?
And when Sunday comes, I just want to go out, hang out with my friends, watch some football, kick back, have a beer.
If he wants to go out and hang out with his friends, he should have never gotten married, because as far as I'm concerned, this is our family time.
And later, more ways to keep your lover longing for you.
Just a little chocolate on the pillowcase and always lingerie.
I love this sexy advice from the rabbi. Don't we love that? Around the pitfalls that can ruin relationships. It's the 7 ways to keep your lover. And let's hear why our next man broke things off with his lady, Brandon. So why did you break up with your woman, Brandon?
Well, Tyra, I broke up with my woman because she was extra clingy. Like, she was just, you know, she used to go out with us to the clubs, and she didn't want to go. You know, it's kind of like, you know, my happiness was her happiness, and that's a lot of pressure. You know, I don't want her to talk to me because I make her happy. I want to add to her happiness.
Yes,
you know?
but you should not be all of her happiness.
Right, exactly.
So, Evan, what advice would you give to a woman that is clinging to her man, wants to be around him all the time?
Well, you got to give the guy a little bit of space, and it's really important to build up your own life and have your own set of interests, not just for the value of having your own life, but also because it's an insurance policy. You put everything into one guy, and that guy disappears, what do you got?
What do you have? I like the insurance policy. Everybody hear that at home? An insurance policy. That's a really good way to look at it. Instead of just giving them your space because you need your space. Insurance. Yeah, I like that. I like that. So how much space should a woman give her man?
Well, I think she should cultivate her own independence because that is so attractive to a man.
Yeah.
I mean, a woman that's strong and independent, a man will look at her from across the room and find his way over to her.
Yeah, that is so true. And even with myself, like sometimes I find myself like in relationships like, and the minute I'm like, I'll see you later, I have something to do.
They come
and then he's like chasing me and I'm like, okay, you know? So the third commandment for keeping your lover is, do not be clingy.
Yeah.
Don't be clingy. With us now are Ira and Sasha. Hi, Ira and Sasha. So, Ira, having issues with your wife here. She's a Klingon.
Absolutely, Tyra. You know, I work a full-time job, and when I get home, I still got to do the cooking, do the laundry for the family, clean the house, and then we spend time on Friday night and Saturday. And then when Sunday comes, I just want to go out, hang out with my friends, watch some football, kick back, have a beer, have some hot wings.
Excuse me.
And she and she gives me the guilt trip or the
He
attitude.
gets home at 6 o'clock. I'm at home taking care of the baby all day, which is a full-time job.
Yes, it is.
Yes. Thank you. I'm the one that wakes up in the middle of the night around 1, 2 o'clock when the baby wakes up because he's a newborn. Okay, he's the one that's sleeping. He has a social life. He goes to work. I'm the one that's at home. I moved from Florida to come to New York to come be with him and start our family. So if he wants to go out and hang out with his friends, he should have never gotten married because as far as I'm concerned,
All right, before the show, we asked Ira and Sasha to try something new and give each other a little time on their own. First, we told Sasha to go out and do something to pamper herself, and Ira stayed home to watch the baby.
I am so happy to be out the house today and get my hair done. Don't have a baby bag, don't have a stroller. I have my own purse for once. I'm just gonna get my hair done, relax, and hopefully when I come back home, everything will be under control.
I still have to take care of everything that's going on in the house here. Somebody's got to do it. Well, let me get to it. I have Jaden in the stroller so that he can watch what I have to do here as well. It's fun playing with baby Jaden. I wish I could stay home all week and do that.
The grass is always greener on the other side.
Sasha, you seem like you were doing okay on your own, right?
he had the easy part, you know. He wasn't waking up in the middle of the night to feed him. He was just, basically when I left, he was already dressed and everything, so he didn't do that much. It's not,
all right.
It's not all gravy.
It's funny,
okay?
I feel the issue is not just about clingy, it's about like who does what, and there's some other issues here. Well, now let's see how Ira enjoyed his time with the boys once Sasha got home from the hairdresser.
Well, I'm back, and here is the final finished result. It's not what I wanted.
Sasha rushed back from the hair salon so Ira could go out with his friends, and she didn't seem happy.
My fantasy team is winning, all is well. A couple beers, couple chicken wings.
When I went to the hairdresser, I was only gone for 3 hours, and he's going on, what, 5 hours?
Hopefully Sasha's cool, having fun with Jaden.
No idea where Ira is. He's gone for 5 hours now. This is ridiculous.
Headed home. Great time at football. Hopefully Sasha's cool. Maybe I'll cook some dinner. Maybe make a margarita. All's good.
So, Sasha, you were upset that he was gone for a long time, and I also understand that going back to the hairdresser, when you were there on your own, what would you have wished that was at that hairdresser with you?
I would have wished they would have came along with me. You know, Ira and Jaden, I don't mind being with my family. That is why I got married. He has a problem.
There's nothing fun about sitting at a hairdresser's for 8 hours while she gets her hair done.
Right?
I mean,
come on, guys.
That does confuse me.
I had to hurry up and rush back so he can go to his football game. You know, I rushed myself to come home and be with my family. He doesn't do the same. As you can see, he was out for 5 going on 6 hours.
I mean, that's how long the football games are, so you got to stay and watch them, right?
I Sasha, I just find it so hard to understand that you would want your baby and your husband in the hair salon. The hair salon for me is sit under the dryer, kind of fall asleep on the dryer, you know, read all my magazines, catch up on all the Jet magazines that I haven't read. Like that's so. I don't understand why you would want him there. To me, that is the definition of what we're talking about. This rule number 3, that's don't be clingy. What do you guys have to say about this? The grade that you give.
I think people need their alone time, and you guys are already a couple. You're in. So how can you figure out how to respect each other's space and each other's wishes instead of thinking only what you want?
Yeah. And Sasha, your expectations of him are so high. No man wants to watch you get your hair done.
Yes.
Ever.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be hard to break Sasha. It's going to be hard for you to break yourself of this, Sasha. This is a serious issue, and I bet it's a lot deeper than we can talk about today. There's some issues of like this clinginess, but we've got a little something to start you off. This is Dawn. Stand on up, Dawn. And Dawn is a coordinator of the Jersey City's Moms Group. So explain what you can do, Dawn, to help Sasha.
Sasha, we have this fabulous group of women and we have lots of activities, especially just for mom activities, such as Mom's Night Out, Monday movie nights, or sometimes we call this knitting group, but it's really for people to, interact with each other and sometimes talk about our husbands and whatnot.
Do you think that you would be into doing something like that, maybe?
If he could come.
Oh, gosh. Sasha, you're kidding.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
I enjoy taking my family with me places. I don't mind.
Sasha, I'm not an expert. And I don't mean to like predict their marriage, but what do you all see in the long run? Rabbi, what do you see in the long run for this type of...
I think, Sasha, there's a deep loneliness within you, and wanting your husband there all the time will push him so far away. So be very careful.
Yeah, we'll be right back. Up next, spy on your guy, and he may say bye-bye.
I'm a snooper. I've done it all. I actually went through his email, and I saw pictures of another female.
I was with a man for 3 years and snooped for 3 years, so I understand it. Hey, Tyra fans. The Tyra Show has moved to New York. If you're in the New York City area and you want to be a part of my live studio audience, go to tyrashow.com for free tickets. keep moving with our list of 7 ways to keep your lover. Next up is Rob. Hi, Rob.
Some great intro music.
Did you like that?
That's
Well, it's the intro to find out how you how you broke up with your lady.
There was a big lack of trust. Now, I'm a bartender, and she knew this before dating me, so I interact with a lot of women, sometimes flirt, but never cross the line. So I'm very faithful. First and foremost, I want to say that. But she did something sneaky. I had never met her roommate yet, and she had her roommate text message me and flirt with me on the cell phone. And then I was
Posing
like,
as the roommate or posing as an...
just as a random girl. And I was
Okay.
like, well, who is this? Who are you? She told me her name. I said, I don't know you. And then I get a text message about 5 minutes later from the girl I'm dating saying, you're an and she said, I haven't even introduced you to my roommate yet, and you're already flirting with her.
Got it. It's funny with the written word, even the I don't know you can sound like, I don't know you. So her mind went crazy. Well, she's crazy anyway to be doing that. But I've done stuff like that. But anyway, okay. So Matt, how do so men want women that trust them, right?
That's right.
But there's
That's
so many
right.
guys that cheat.
Never.
Hey,
Never once.
If a guy's a cheater, get rid of him.
Okay.
But the crime has got to fit the punishment. We don't want to be proven guilty before, we do something wrong. So
when you're proven
start
guilty
small.
before, does it make you just go cheat anyway because people think you're doing
No,
it?
not unless you're a bad guy.
Okay.
But you gotta trust the guy. You gotta start small. It's like rock climbing. You're not gonna go on a huge 100-foot rock face the minute you're in a relationship. But start small. Let him have his space, and the closer you get, the more you gotta let go.
How many people in the audience have had trust issues in relationships before? Me too. I have to. Okay, so here's our rule. The 4th way to keep your lover is to trust or get out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sarah, stand on up. Sarah, I know you've had, nice and tall. I know you've had trust issues in the past. Tell me about
Yes,
that.
I'm a snooper. I've done it all. I found out the voicemail passwords, email codes. Like when you've been with somebody long enough, you get to know them. You know their numbers and like things that they'll use. They don't make it hard for us
Like their
females.
dog, their
It's
middle
really,
names,
yeah,
their names spelled backwards.
It's really easy. With my boyfriend, I actually went through his email and I saw pictures of another female.
You're a specialist. So, Rabbi, what advice do you have for Sarah? She says she's a self-proclaimed snooper.
Well, Sarah, I think there's a little snoop in all of us. I mean, when I was first dating my husband, I peeked at his emails, and 10 years
Wait,
into
the rabbi peeked at the email?
Yes, we are all guilty.
Oh my gosh.
Right, because a few bad.
You're human too.
I'm so human. But
Oh my
a few
gosh.
bad seeds, can give all guys a bad name, and I think that's the unfortunate thing. But let me tell you, it's come back to haunt me. 10 years into marriage, he's still like, do you remember when you looked in my emails? I'm like, yes, I'm sorry. But I think he'll be saying it when we're married for 40 years. So
For 40 years.
it may come back to haunt you.
And I always say, like, if you look, you're going to find something, and it doesn't necessarily mean he's cheating, but it's going to look like he's cheating just because that's where your mind is. You might find a picture, oh my God, who's this? It could be an ex-girlfriend. We like to keep I like to keep old boyfriends' pictures. I have a file, so you go through his file, oh my God, so no need to look. And if you don't trust him, leave, child. Believe me, I was with a man for 3 years and snooped for 3 years, so I understand you. And I should have left a long time before I left. We'll be right back. If you'd like to be a guest on The Tyra Show or want to receive personal emails from me that I do write myself, go to our website, tyrashow.com. 7 ways to keep your lover is David. So, David, why did you break up with your honey?
Well, it just was getting boring. Yeah, you know, it started out great, but then it started reaching the point where she would come over to my apartment. She would, you know, stack her clothes neatly on the chair, and then it was like, time for sex. And I know I'm not going to win over any married guys with this argument, but, you know, I'm 23, and that just got really boring to me.
So, because she stacked the clothes and was like, okay, here I am.
Yeah.
It wasn't like spontaneous? Is that what it was?
I mean, yeah, I'd walk in my room, and there's a stack of clothes. There she is in bed, and, you know, I'm not a piece of meat, you know? I need a little, you know.
So, Rabbi Hirsch, what is the rule for this?
You gotta always bring your A game. Shame on her, because it doesn't matter how long you've been with a guy, you've gotta keep him guessing. You always gotta have a little mystery. Guys need it. And I mean, whether you send a sexy email or put a message in his briefcase, I put chocolates on the bed, that's a great one. Just a little chocolate on the pillowcase. You've been dating for a long time, God, a guy appreciates that more. And always lingerie.
I love the sexy advice from the rabbi. Don't we love that? Oh my gosh. Okay, well, the next rule to keep your lover is keep it fresh. Why do we need to keep it fresh?
I think guys change channels all the time for a reason, because we get tired of reruns, right? There's a difference between a habit and a rut. A habit is always making coffee at the same time in the morning. A rut is when she comes over, takes off her clothes, and lies in bed, and now it's sexy time.
Got it.
Right? There's a difference. You got to put things on the calendar. You got to plan ahead. You got to give the guy something to look forward to and surprise him.
All right, moving on to our next breaker-upper, Kadar. Hello. So, Kadar, why did you break up with your sweet one?
I broke up with my girl because all she wanted was money. She wanted gifts. She wanted to go trips to the mall. She wanted me to pay her rent. So I had to let her go.
I'm not saying she's a gold digger. All right. All right, Matt, I'm coming to you on this.
Sure.
What's the rule on money and the girls?
Don't let money get in the way of romance. I mean, guys are always worried about being seen as a success object. Girls are worried about being seen as a sex object, right? So there's a two-way street. You got to make sure that your short-term happiness never gets in the way of long-term goals.
Got it. But don't guys like value themselves by the money that they have? That's why you guys buy the sports cars and all that type of stuff.
Maybe, but we don't want women to see us that way.
No, and I don't think a man wants to feel used, you know?
Got it.
Yeah, we want to be valued for who we are. Just as you know, you might be a beautiful woman, but you don't want to be only a beautiful woman.
Yes.
You want them to like you for who you are.
There's
We don't want
something
to just be your wallets.
Got it. We'll be right back. on the stage who has yet to tell us what made him leave his lover. This is Chris. Hi, Chris. So talk to us about why you broke it off with your girlfriend.
For me, it's confidence. There's absolutely nothing more attractive in a woman than somebody who knows themselves, they're confident, they can have engaging conversations. And I was in a relationship that just wasn't there. She agreed on every single debate we would have. If it was a talk on politics or a talk on religion, it was yes, yes, yes. I mean, let's have some engaging conversations that may butt heads a little bit, but that are respectful, where they sort of flip the switch and start looking inward instead of trying to find the person that maybe completes them. They complete themselves.
Got it.
You know?
All right. Rabbi Hirsch, let's break down the next rule.
I was going to say, Chris, you couldn't have said it better. Love yourself. It's the sexiest quality to a man. Confidence, happiness. God thinks you're divine. Show him that you are.
Okay. So, Matt, how do you feel about this whole confidence thing when it comes to women?
There's no question about it. Ambition is a major aphrodisiac. We surveyed about 6,000
I'm
guys.
ambitious.
That's right. You got it all. But 80% of guys said they want a woman that's a career-oriented woman that's out there hustling, making herself a better person, because the more she changes, the less the relationship stays the same.
So who here in the audience struggles with self-esteem? Anybody? Okay, stand on up. What's your name?
Courtney.
Courtney, tell me your self-esteem issues.
Well, all my life I had really strong self-esteem. And I was very proud, very strong and ambitious, kind of the way that y'all were describing. And then I met a guy, and he was a friend with benefits that I fell in love with. And I told him that
stop there, friend with benefits, but you fell in love with him.
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't think I was going to, but I did. And I told him that I had fallen in love with him, and he didn't reciprocate.
Chris, I'm going to ask you. You're going to be my expert right now. What do you think you can tell Courtney to help her?
You know what? I mean, 4 years ago, I kind of flipped the switch and had a self-discovery type moment. And I think that you need the exact same thing. And I think that when you start looking really at who you are as a person and start exuding that to everybody else, who cares about any other guy? Who cares how they treat you? Who cares all that stuff? I mean, I think that, and I can't think of a better platform for you on national television, the Tyra Banks Show, to sort of make that switch happen today and go out and get somebody that you feel you deserve and that's going to respect you for who you are as opposed to the other way around.
I think that there is no such thing as too much advice on this subject. So, Brandon, what do you have to say?
Well, just looking at her, you know, she's a lovely woman, but me saying that means nothing if she doesn't feel that. So, it's not about what she wants, it's about how she feels she deserves to be treated better.
Yeah.
Until she feels like she deserves to be treated better, it's not gonna happen for her.
I feel strong, and I have self-confidence, but not around him.
Oh, say that again. I'm sorry, say that again.
I have a lot of self-confidence, and I know myself well, and I am strong, and I know that. But when it comes to him, I'm like, you know, I just kind of melt.
Why does she melt with this one guy? What is that? It's total self-confidence, but this one guy is knocking her off of that.
I think she's allergic to him. I think you got to stay away.
Are there certain people that can just make us weak and not make us who we normally are?
Well, because she's been a friend with benefits, and so he's touched something very deep inside you. And I think stay far away from him, and you'll regather it.
Chemistry, that thing that we spend all our time looking for, is a really overrated trait. Because when you have chemistry with someone, you're not at your best self. This guy does not bring out the best in you. You need a guy who brings out the best in you, who you could be that self-expressed, confident woman. And if you're not getting what you need from this guy, leave him.
Yeah. I think it's reminding yourself how beautiful you are and how special you are and talking to yourself. I was in a relationship where I wasn't myself. I miss self-esteem. You know, I have the Tyra Show and I talk about self-esteem all the time. But I was in a relationship with a guy and I wasn't myself. I don't know what it was about him that got to me. It was almost like I wanted to fix him. I wanted to prove that I was good enough for him to love me and love only me. But one day I looked in the mirror. I was in his house and I looked in his mirror and I was saying to myself, who are you, Tyra? Have you lost your mind? Are you crazy? Get out. And after that, I did it. I don't know what it was. I kicked myself in the butt, literally, with that talk. And that was what it was for me. You have to figure out what it is for you to find your strength.
Definitely.
All right, don't go anywhere, because when we come back, the ladies will find out the top reasons to leave their lover. It's not just about you guys up there saying, I left you because of this. Now the ladies are going to talk about why we left y'all. We'll be right back. Hey, Tyra fans. The Tyra Show has moved to New York. If you're in the New York City area and you want to be a part of my live studio audience, go to tyrashow.com for free tickets. Closed captioning and other considerations for the Tyra Banks Show provided by we've learned how to avoid pushing your man away, but that's only when the relationship is worth it. By no means should you stand by your man at all costs, because sometimes you have got to cut him loose. So standing on the stage are 3 women, and these 3 women all left their boyfriends for really good reasons, and they're going to tell us when they realized it was time to leave their lover. Let's start off with Laurel.
Hi.
So Laurel, tell me about your breakup and what happened.
Well, basically, I broke up with him because he was verbally and emotionally abusive to a point where he would just wake me up in the middle of the night to yell at me about things that it was his responsibility of. I realized that love wasn't enough, and I just broke it off.
Good. So the first rule for when to leave your lover is do not stay in abusive relationships. Abusive physically, emotionally, spiritually, verbally. There's a lot of different abuse. Do not stay in those relationships. Melinda, when did you break it off with your boyfriend?
Well, my boyfriend wanted to control what I wore, who I spoke with, what activities I did. He would call me when I got out of class and say, "You've been out of class for 5 minutes. Why didn't you call me yet?" And it got to a point where I had to take control of my life. I became someone who I wasn't, and I broke it off, and I feel stronger for it. So.
Good. Controlling is not good. And the interesting thing interesting thing about a controlling boyfriend is in the beginning it feels good, like, oh, he loves me, he cares where I am, right? And then it's like, oh, wait, no, he's crazy. He has issues. He's insecure, and that's why he's controlling us. So the next rule for when to leave your lover is when he is controlling, everyone, when he is controlling. And Liv, why did you break up with your boyfriend?
Well, Tyra, I was with the dude for 4 years, and I found out that he was cheating on me. So 2 days ago, I was like, I'm out.
Good.
That's it.
2 days ago, so this is fresh.
Fresh, girl.
Okay, did you learn by snooping?
Not snooping, just it was evident. He was, you know, his actions changed. He would come home late from work or different hours every day. He smelled different. Come on.
Okay, good. I love that you did not learn from snooping, because that's what we talked about not doing that. That the signs were there, and we know when the signs are there, but we ignore them. So for the final rule, to leave your lover is when you have evidence and clear in your face that he is cheating. Okay, pay attention to that. I want to thank all my guests today and my love panel, and for the complete list of ways to keep your lover and reasons to leave your lover, check out the website, and we'll see you later.